And a big update coming in and a big relief for Indian nurse Nimisha Priya. Her death sentence by Yemeni authorities on charges of murder has now been overturned according to the Office of Indian Grand Mufti, Kantapuram, AP, Abubakker, Muslaiyar. This comes after her execution, which was in fact originally scheduled to happen on July 16th. In fact, was halted temporarily just a day earlier after Grand Mufti AP Abubakker Muslaiyar intervened and requested Yemeni authorities to reconsider. Priya's family, including her 13-year-old daughter Michelle and her husband Thomas, reached Yemen to join Indian Christian evangelist K.A. Paul to appeal Houthi authorities to release Priya. In a statement, the Grand Mufti had said that he intervened due to India's limited diplomatic engagement with Yemen, which was one of the key hurdles in this case. Nimisha Priya was, remember, convicted in 2020 for killing Yemeni national Talal Abdo Mahdi in July 2017. In 2023, the Houthi Supreme Judicial Council upheld her punishment and dismissed her plea for bail. She was placed on death row and was set to be executed on July 16, 2025. So that's a big update coming in. Reportedly a big relief for Nimisha Priya. We've been given to understand that her death sentence by Yemeni authorities on charges of murder has now been overturned. The information has been picked up from the Office of Indian Grand Mufti, Kantapuram AP Abubakker Muslaiyar. Remember, this comes after the news of her execution, which was originally scheduled to be on July 16th and then was temporarily halted a day earlier after Grand Mufti AP Abubakker Muslaiyar intervened and requested Yemeni authorities to reconsider. Former diplomat Ashok Sajjanar is joining us early this morning on the broadcast. Sir, thank you so much for speaking to News9. What we've been given to understand, though we are waiting for an official confirmation coming in from the MEA itself, but if the news is true, then it's a big relief for the nurse, sir.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. It's a big development. It's a very welcome development because I think this has been, issue has been hanging fire for a long time, for many years. And this death sentence that had been pronounced, that had caused great distress and anguish to the family of Nimisha Priya. So the Indian government had been trying. They had, of course, there are some constraints and some challenges because India does not have a diplomatic representation in Sana'a, which is controlled by the Houthis. But we have tried through the sheikhs and through good offices of friends in the Gulf, we have tried to reach out to the leadership in Sana'a to get reprieve for Nimisha Priya. And I think the other NGOs and civil society organizations have also been active. So I think it is the combined result of the efforts of all these people. And I think it is also a signal of the growing profile, clout, and influence of India that the death sentence for Nimisha Priya, if I hope that it is true and it is announced formally very quickly, then that is a measure of the growing influence of India.
Absolutely, sir. And if we could try to understand the relationship that India at the moment shares with, Yemen and Houthi, who controls the government over there. Because in this case, a direct breakthrough has been achieved with the intervention of Grand Mufti. At this point of juncture, what can be said about the relationship that we share with Yemen?
Well, with Yemen, as I said, we do not have in Sana'a, we do not have a diplomatic representation because there is no political recognition of the Houthi establishment there. But still there are informal channels. And as I said, it is the Indian government as well as other civil society organizations and NGOs who are acting. And I'm happy that all of them have been acting in the same direction, in the same way to bring relief to Nimisha Priya and to her family. And I'm very hopeful that this is the correct information that we're getting at this time.
Absolutely. And like I said before, sir, we are still waiting for an official confirmation coming in from MEA. But Mr. Sajjana, thank you so much for joining the chat and putting your perspective across. I'm also being joined by my colleague Vivek early this morning. Vivek, what's the latest update? Like we've been again and again saying that we are waiting for the MEA's confirmation on the news piece. But despite of that, the big news has come in about the big relief to Nimisha Priya and her family, of course.
Yes, it is indeed a huge relief for Nimisha Priya, her family, especially her daughter, husband, mother, and also all those family members and well-wishers back here in Kerala, especially who have been praying for halting her execution for the last 6 to 7 months. Yesterday evening, by around 11 o'clock, the Grand Mufti, that is Abubakker Muslayyar's office, has informed that the execution has been cancelled and Nimisha Priya could return to India. This has been informed to them by the Yemeni authorities, but it's still not clear which authorities has been. Is it the official government which has informed the Mufti's office, or the Houthi authorities, or the jail authorities? So all these things, there has to be a clarification. Apart from that, the MEA, the Ministry of External Affairs, has to clarify exactly whether this has been done. This, execution staying has been officially confirmed, whether there is a press release or a word by mouth that has come out. Now, but what's more interesting here is that, this case has, brought fresh light on the practice of blood money, a profession under Islamic law that allows victims' family to pardon the accused in exchange for monetary compensation. This is not the first case. Earlier also, there are 2 to 3 cases in Kerala itself where this has been conducted. The Indian government had previously navigated the settlement. In 2006, a Kerala driver called Abdul Rahim was sentenced to death in Saudi Arabia for the accidental death of a paralyzed child. Now, after a sustained fundraising campaign, including public donations, nearly 34 crore in diya was paid in 2024, that's last year, securing his pardon, though Rahim was still required to complete a 20-year prison term. Now, in 2013 also, similar cases happened in Punjab for a person called Balvinder Singh, who was pardoned for death, for Saudi resident after 2 crore compensation was arranged. So basically, this is, diya money or blood money which has been given. Now, if at all the MEA has confirmed this is going to be a huge victory for the government as well as those people who have worked, day and night to ensure that the release of Nimisha Priya and the execution has been stayed. If that happens, it is going to be a huge relief for the family as well as the well-wishers of Nimisha Priya.
Absolutely. Vivek, also if you can, help us expand the next course of action for our viewers here. Now the execution as per the sources has been overturned. But what's going to be next for Nimisha Priya? Will she come back to India? Will she undergo further investigations there in Yemen?
What I understand from my limited sources as far as this matter is concerned is that Nimisha Priya, will have to meet the family members of the deceased, that is, Talal Mahdi, and they will have a word with her, and also, the authorities in Yemen will decide, whether there will be any other formalities, whether she has to stay there in Yemen for a certain period and then come back. And also on this blood money, what we understand is that the entire money which they have demanded has still not been handed over. So the blood money which they have demanded will have to be handed over, and that will be done in the presence of a family as well as the authorities and, Talal's family member. Especially, remember, Talal's elder brother is still not convinced with these talks. He has put out a Facebook post last week. We ourselves have reported this, saying that, he wants execution because, he still believes that, she has intentionally killed him, and also that too without the help of other person. So this sentiment is still there. Also, there is an action committee in Yemen itself, who is the committee who is working in tandem with the family of the deceased, who is pressing for the death sentence But there was a person, an intermediary, and also certain religious heads over there who was in talks with the Grand Mufti in India, who tried to persuade the family and also other members and all those activists, as far as this case is concerned, trying to make them understand as why this execution should be stayed. And also remember, Nimisha's daughter and husband has also reached Yemen, who's trying to meet the family members of the deceased and trying to make them understand and to ensure that the entire process is completed as soon as possible.